and you're looking at Joseph's brothers, what was in their best personal interest? And their best personal interest would be for them to love their brother and to care for their brother and to accept him. They would have to deal with the nagging pain of their father liking Joseph more, but at the end of the day, they wouldn't have to deal with the pain of being a murderer or being a person who betrayed their brother. They wouldn't have to deal with the pain of being a person without character. So, so it would have been in their best interest to care for their brother. But God didn't force them to do things that were in their best interest. He didn't force them to do things that were in the best interest of Joseph. He let them have freedom to choose what they wanted to do. And what he did is that he basically controlled the situation while at the same time allowing people to have freedom. I think the best way that I can explain this, and we're going to go into the word specifically right now, but one of the best ways for me to explain God's sovereignty or God's power is I learned how to play chess. And, and some of you here may know how to play chess. Some of you may not know how to play chess. You don't need to know how to play chess to understand this analogy. But I learned how to play chess. I was working at a camp. I think I was in my early 20s, and I was taking care of it was myself and some other staff. We're taking care of kids at this camp. And at the end of the day of camp, we had to just hold some kids until their parents came to pick them up from work. So there's one child that I was working with, and he would play chess. And he said to me, "Do you know how to play chess?" And I said, "No, I don't know how to play chess." Then he started laughing. He said, "You're a man and you don't know how to play chess?" And I said to him, "Well, some people have no interest in chess." He goes, "If you learn to play, you'll like it." So this little, I think he's 5 or 6. I can't remember how old he was. This little kid started teaching me how to play chess. But what happened when he taught me how to play chess is every day he would just beat me. He would beat me several times before his parents came and picked him up. And it took me quite a while. But I started to learn how to play the game. So I'd go home, I'd play the game on a computer, play against a computer, I'd play against some other people, and I started getting better, and I started getting a little bit better. So then ultimately, it came to a time when I actually beat this little boy. And when I beat him, I remember the day that I beat him, he started crying because he didn't like to lose. And I had my hands up in the air and I was saying, "Yeah!" I didn't care that he was crying because I said it took me so long to beat this child. Week after week, he might have beaten me nearly 100 times. Like he beat me so many times, and I got to beat him, and I saw him crying, and I felt so good. But after that situation of learning how to play chess with this child, I got a desire to learn how to play chess, and I started playing different people, and I got pretty good at it. I got pretty good at it. But the whole reason why I'm going to the story is one day I met a Christian lady, and she was just talking to me about church and stuff like that. And somewhere in the conversation, I told her that I played chess. She, she said, "Oh, you play chess?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." She goes, "Oh, I haven't really met a lot of people who have played chess." So I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." I said, "Yeah, I play." She goes, "How good are you?" And I said, "I'm pretty good." She goes, "Okay, I'd like to play against you." So I said to her, "Have you played chess before?" She goes, "A little bit." So then we decided to play chess against each other one day. And when I played chess against her, it was very different than playing anybody I ever played before. When I made a move, she would tell me how she was going to beat me. She would tell me, like, "I'm going to beat you in 3 moves." So I've never played anybody that said that before. So I'm like, "You're not going to beat me in 3 moves." And I would make my move, and she'd beat me in 3 moves. Then she'd say she'd beat me in 5 moves or 4 moves. She would give me the exact number of how many moves she'd beat me in. So after I said, "Okay, I'm going first." So I had a decision of where I wanted to go, but no matter where I went, at the end of the day, she beat me all the time. So after this happened like about 10 times in a row, I said to her, how are you doing this? And she said that she has mastered the game of chess. And she can see the board and she knows exactly what I'm going to do. And she knows how to beat me every time. So no matter what move I make, you see, I make the decision to make the move, but she has the power to end the game. And even though I don't think she's on the level of God, not even close, what I learned from that situation is that even in the world of freedom and even the world of free choice, there are outside forces that have the ultimate deciding power. So even though I can choose where I want to go, I can choose who I want to talk to, I can choose how I want to feel, I can choose my moral standing, I can choose how hard I work, I can choose a lot of things, but at the end of the day, God is able to end the game. He's able to organize and to structure things to get me where he wants me to be, irregardless of how I choose things. So at the end of the day, we have free choice. And some of our free choices have bad repercussions. But at the end of the day, God is still able to direct us to where he wants us to go. He's able to direct us and to put our life in the place that it needs to be, irregardless of our choices. Because he's the Most High. And because he's the Most High, he has all authority, he has all power over us. And even though we live this game of life free, at the end of the day, God has an agenda. He wants to build his kingdom and he wants to transform people's lives. And he will use us. Sometimes he'll use us to be people who help others. Sometimes he'll use us to be people who lead others. Sometimes he'll use us to inspire people, to deliver people, to give charity to people. Sometimes he'll use us like that. But then sometimes he'll use certain people or others to be enemies. Or sometimes he'll use others to be people who are opposition. Or sometimes he'll use others to take from you or to steal from you or to harm you. To change the way that you see the world and the way that you see life so that you can recognize that I don't want to put my faith in people. I want to put my faith in God. Sometimes God will find that place of weakness that you're at and he will allow someone to attack that place. And he can allow them to attack it for many different reasons. But one of the primary reasons why he would allow someone to attack you in a place of weakness is to give you strength in that area, to give you strength in that place. So that when the enemy tries to attack you again, you will be fortified, you'll be empowered in that area. But at the end of the day, we serve a God who is the Most High. And because he's the Most High, he is the one that directs and orders our life. That does not mean that everything I want, he gives to me. It doesn't mean that everything I expect to go a certain way, goes that way. But what it does mean that when God and I work in partnership, things will work according to God's will. So the wisest thing that we can do as Christians is to try to figure out God's will through reading the Word of God, but try to figure out God's will and to align our thoughts and our beliefs and our life with God's will.